Good people, good people, good people. Welcome to another edition of Commander's Wrap, where you get all your relevant Commanders news in 15 minutes. I'm your host, Dr. Wonderful, Doctor of Writing, Professor of English, and avid Commanders fan. And I'm joined here today by my co host, Kevin Bayne. We air every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, and we then replay on at 10 a.m. on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Audible. How you doing today, Kevin? Right before the first game of the season.
I'm doing great. Can't wait. And how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm tired of waiting. This has been like the worst thing. Everyone's like, "Yay, the season started on Thursday." I'm like, "My team did not play, and I still got like 3 or 4 days." Right?
Yep,
So
yep.
I'm very happy. Commanders are playing here in about 4 short hours. The Giants. So. As the season is upon us, Kevin, with the Commanders taking on the Giants at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland, our first segment is going to go ahead and cover the official, unofficial, I don't know what to call it, depth chart,
Yeah,
which was released this past Tuesday. And of course, there were some tweaks and changes that were made throughout the week. We're also going to recap some of the press conferences that head coach Dan Quinn, offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, and defensive coach Joe Witch had. But first, with the depth chart, Kevin, what are your initial reactions to the depth chart?
yeah. Overall, I like the depth chart. I can see, they really stacked up on the defensive side with more specifically defensive tackles and linebackers. I think we should definitely be improved in stopping the run. As we've said before, that was something that Peters and Quinn they were wanted to address in the off season. Um, a couple positions I have questions, or maybe I'm just curious to see how it plays out. Was the running backs, and then on special teams, at first, kind of a specifically kick returner. Um, as we all know, Brian Robinson parted ways. As of now, the depth chart had Eckler as the primary back. Um, then they had it was McNichols as the number two, Rodriguez as three, Krosky Merritt as four. Then I seen they switched that. Basically, Eckler still the primary, and then they had Krosky Merritt as the number two, um, followed by McNichols in the three. Now, I don't look into the depth chart really hard because things are always being changed and tweaked, and like Eckler will not be the primary back, even though the depth chart shows that. I think for sure it's going to be a running back by committee type approach, with maybe Krosky Merritt maybe getting the most touches. Yeah, interesting to see how that will all played out. But yeah, as far as the kick returner goes, I had concerns at first because they had Eckler actually as the primary kick returner, with McCaffrey, Luke being the second. I didn't personally care for Eckler in that role. It was more so concerned with his health, not his talent or skill. I believe he took a nasty hit towards the end of the season last year on a return, in which resulted in a concussion and stopped him from playing and missing a bit of time. Yesterday, they had it listed as Eckler as the primary kick returner. Today, they've gotten rid of that. He's been removed from special teams altogether, and it now says Debo Samuel as the primary kick returner, with Luke still being the number two. Of course, Lane will be he's the punt returner. But yeah, I think Debo returning kicks, I think that's a lot better than Eckler back there. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't have a lot of surprises on the depth chart. These things are always tweaked as the season goes, and I think as it pertains to running back, it's really inconsequential. I think that that's a list more of you've had more years and experience in the
Yes,
NFL
yes,
than
yeah.
it is of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Austin Eckler was really good for us last year. So his health and a healthy Austin Eckler, I believe, is going to do wonders for us. So I do actually understand why he might have been RB number one, right?
Yep.
But the keeping of four running backs on the roster, and we'll find out who's active, um, if not now, just a little bit after, suggests to me that they are going to take a more varied approach to running back, a less traditional approach to running back. So I'm not as worried, when it comes to, Austin Eckler. I love that Luke McCaffrey is there because Luke McCaffrey was a good kick returner for us,
Yes.
and you can do a lot of things in special teams while you're refining certain skills. I would love Luke McCaffrey to find a niche here in special teams. I think it only helps him.
Yep.
Uh, that's my broad pick. But as we move on, because we've got our game in a couple hours, Kevin, we've waited all the way up until now to give our predictions for the season, the win-loss prediction that we have for the Commanders. So I want to do it this way, Kevin. I want to know what your overall prediction is for the Commanders record, and then I would like to know what your prediction is for this specific game against the Giants.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can go 12-5, 13-4, with a playoff berth, and I think we can get back to that NFC Championship game. I'm really hoping it's a rematch against Philly. Um, you know, and then look, I say that because I believe that we have improved in some areas, and so I don't see any reason why we can't do what we did last year or last season even better this year. And a lot of this is based off of the schedule, knowing what we're capable of doing. And this is, of course, with most key guys being healthy. The few losses that I have are against division teams. And I'm just being a realist here. A lot of times we play division teams and we split with those guys. That's what happens. Um, yeah, obviously not all the time, but it does happen quite a bit. I do think we should sweep the Giants as long as we don't overlook them. And for that particular game, I think we win 31-17.
Well, that's a bold prediction there, Kevin. I've been listening to some insider reporting, and I think some people have a low scoring game because, well, like you said, it's a divisional game. You should never look past a divisional game, but a two touchdown difference is quite significant.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm going a little bit lower. I think this is something like 24-27 or 21-24. I think not necessarily because of offensive struggles. I always give credit to division foes. We
yes,
know we know each other equally.
yeah,
And so I just expect close games. I just do. I expect like games that are within 3 to 6 points. And if you look at what Washington did against New York last year, that wouldn't be uncommon. So that's why yes, I'm going with a Washington win. Yes, but in a bit of a nail biter. As we those last 5 minutes, I think are important. But I do think that Washington will win a nail biter. I'm going to go with 24-21
okay,
in that game, but with a Washington win. As for the overall, Kevin, I've been bullish on the Commanders since we lost to Philly. I kid you not. When we lost to Philly, I sent a prediction to an insider who reports for the Commanders. Keep them unnamed, but I did. I sent a report. I said we're going to go 14-3. We're just going to win 14 games. So my low here is 10 games and a possible playoff miss. And I say that because the NFC is very, very, very deep. The high end teams are not comparable to what you have with the AFC. It's still the same four teams. But in terms of how deep they are, I think the NFC is far deeper. You know, Philly, Washington, the Rams, Detroit, possibly Minnesota, right? Possibly Chicago,
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. I just think that the NFC is very deep, and so that's why my low for them is 10 wins. You know, they're playing a harder schedule and things like that. So
Yes.
I think 10 wins is quite possible. I still can't fathom them winning less than double digits, but because I predict that 10 wins could miss the playoffs, and I've said we're not missing the playoffs, Kevin. I guess that means we're just going to have to win 14 games, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so my prediction is the Commanders going 14-3, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs, once to the Philadelphia Eagles, and to the Detroit Lions, who are looking for a bit of revenge. All of those teams are very, very formidable
Yep, I had the same.
to me.
I had the same losses on mine as well. 4 losses, and those were three of my four.
Yeah. Who was your fourth loss since I had Philly, Detroit, and Kansas City? Who was your
I
fourth?
had was splitting with Dallas.
Ah, screw Dallas. We'll beat
Yeah,
them.
I know. I hate
Like,
to say it, but you know how it goes. You know.
yeah, no, I know, but yeah, we need to. Like, I will never, ever pick us to lose against Dallas. Not once, but twice. You won't, you
Yeah,
won't see me
I
do
hear
that.
you. I
So
hear you.
I see where that extra loss came from.
Yep.
All right, everybody, we will be back next week to give you a recap of not one, but two games as the Commanders go up against the Giants and the Packers. So we're going to give you a recap of that. And of course, we are definitely hoping for a 2-0 start, and I'm sure you all are too. For Kevin Bayne, I am Dr. Wonderful. Doctor of Writing, Professor of English, and avid Commanders fan. And this has been your latest episode of Commanders Wrap, where you will get all your Commanders news and a little bit of opinion in 15 minutes. See you after the game and next week, everyone.